Hey everyone, I'm Joey. Today we're going to be talking about attending college or a university as a form of higher education. Is it worth it? What are the pros and cons? These are extremely important questions and ones that need to be well thought through. There are many different aspects to take into account, and I'm going to be walking you through my thought process, even though my personal life decisions may not be the same as yours based on your personality and life goals. My hope is that you'll be able to find value in my life experiences and apply any beneficial knowledge to your life. Before we get started, don't forget to like this video. It really helps my channel and it helps other people find this information as well just by hitting that little like button below the video for the YouTube algorithm. I'm here to offer you free informational material and I would really appreciate that. Thanks so much for helping me out in that way. First, let's talk about why some of our parents and grandparents stress the importance of college. It's about education and opportunities. They want you to continue learning throughout your life so that you're not dumb and that you have open opportunities throughout your life. For most of us, they want the best for us, and going to college is their way of saying, I want the best for you and I want you to have the opportunities that I maybe didn't have growing up. That's exactly why we should all continue learning throughout our lives. In this regard, college is a great guide towards that education. But we also have to take into consideration that college is not the only form of education that we can provide ourselves. Another important thing to remember is that some of our parents, and definitely our grandparents, didn't have the internet when they were growing up. The internet is massive. We won't see 99.99999% of what's on the internet in our lifetime. But it is a freaking gold mine of information, and we'll talk about that in just a minute. I went to a university for 4.5 years, and there are both pros and cons. First, I'll share with you the cons of college, then I'll share with you the pros, and then my conclusion of if college was worth it for me or not at the end. If you're going to watch this video, please watch the entire thing with pros and cons so that you don't have a one-sided perspective. And if I miss anything, feel free to leave it in the comments below for other viewers who are trying to determine if going to college is worth it or not for them. So here are my 4 main cons of attending a college or a university. Number 1, student loans. As a finance guy, and because this is a finance channel, I have to put this at the top of my list because it's insane to me that the average student loan debt in America is $35,000. And because of accumulating interest, students may only use $35,000, but they'll be paying back $40,000 to $50,000 over the course of the years that they're paying back that loan. And that is total BS to me for someone who's trying to better themselves. My mom stressed the importance of good grades to me in high school, which helped me get the Hope Scholarship provided in Georgia for waiving college tuition if I had a 3.5 GPA or higher. By getting this scholarship, I didn't need to take out student loans, but not everybody knows the importance of getting good grades in high school. I certainly didn't. I was only scared of my mom, and that's why I got good grades. I was an A/B student, and I did the absolute minimum that I had to do to get the grades that I needed for this scholarship. So without a scholarship, student loans are by far my number 1 con for attending a college or university. Number 2, if I'm only thinking from a financial standpoint, it was a waste of my time. I spent 4.5 years living paycheck to paycheck, and a lot of my free time was consumed by school. I was very outgoing and social, and so college for me was a social outlet that I desired right after high school. In terms of making money and starting my life, I chose a simple degree and I haven't used much of the knowledge that I learned in my classes. So again, if I were looking at this only from a financial standpoint, I would have been way better off just starting a business right out of high school to give myself 4.5 years head start. Thirdly, it was boring and inapplicable. This kind of piggybacks off of being a waste of time. Many classes that we take in college we will never use in our lives post-college. For example, I love math. I spent 16 hours of my free time over 2 days figuring out the equations for the sum of consecutive squares as well as the sum of consecutive cubes. It's okay if you don't know what that means. It's super nerdy and I have no real-life application for these equations. But I chose a major in college that didn't require me to have high-level math or science classes because I knew I didn't want to be a physician or a rocket scientist or anything that required knowing such specific high-level knowledge about those subjects. History was always boring for me, being such a hyperactive kid. I wouldn't have learned that on my own, so it was actually good that I took those classes because it's very good to know history and politics and to learn as much as we can about these subjects to shape our worldview. Taking required classes helped me be disciplined in learning these subjects because otherwise I wouldn't have learned them on my own. And fourthly, bad influences. This one is entirely up to you. In college, we have the unique opportunity to make our own decisions with this newfound freedom with a bunch of other people who are the same age and same stage of life as us. I realized that surrounding myself with quality people, I would benefit from that. I also realized that hanging out with people whose sole goal in life was to get laid, get hammered, or try new mind-altering substances, that would be a path that could be very difficult to come back from. I realized that some of the friends that I had in college were only my friends because we had one thing in common: partying. Outside of the party atmosphere, we didn't really have anything in common and we didn't really care about each other. You've probably heard that you are the average of your 5 closest friends. So spend time with people who are benefiting you and who want the best for you. Also, be that friend to others to attract those kind of friends. So these are my main cons for attending college. Financially, it can be a waste of money because I can learn that same information on the internet without spending 35 grand. Efficiently, it can be a waste of time because I could have been spending my 4.5 years in college starting a business. And mentally, I got into some bad habits from bad influences that took me a couple of years to unlearn. So you've heard the cons, here are my pros for attending college. This was my experience, and again, I'm a very social person. Regardless of if you consider yourself an introvert or an extrovert, learning to interact and communicate socially is a very important skill that we'll use for the rest of our lives. I learned from a summer camp that I worked for in the summer of 2015 that enthusiasm is contagious! Am I smiling right now? Why am I smiling? Are you smiling right now? Why are you smiling? With positivity and enthusiasm, we can impact the social atmosphere around us and create a welcoming, safe space for others. Maybe we should all just smile more. You ever wonder how the world would be if everyone just went around smiling and waving at each other? How much more positive of an experience would every single day of your life be? That's a tangent. Here's what I benefited from by going to college. One, as you know, it was a social outlet for me. One of my subconscious goals by attending college was to make lifelong friends and find a lifelong partner. Some of my best friends and also my wife I met in college. These are relationships that I value very highly and I think would be very difficult for me if I had jumped into starting my own business or if I had just started working a random entry-level job right out of high school. At my university, I had 30,000 same-age people that I could pick and choose as beneficial people in my life. If you're not selecting your friends, life will select them for you, and I was not willing to take that chance. The second benefit that I received from college were life lessons. I learned a lot of very valuable life lessons in college, but not from my classes. I learned how to get along and work in groups, whether that was being a good leader or a good follower, or at other times just being an equal contributor. I also learned a lot about time management and organization. My freshman year in college, someone said that I could only choose 2 of these 3 things to invest in: my sleep, my social life, and my studies. I found this to be true for the most part, but I also found out that these 2 things that I chose would be different depending on what socially was going on around me, how many assignments I had due, and my need for rest. I heavily leaned towards social life, so that left sleep and my studies to compete against each other. I kept my grades up with the minimum amount of effort needed, and I also averaged about 4 hours of sleep per night during my semesters. That was worth it for me in college because my body could bounce back from that, and also I used class time to sleep. I tried to balance my time the best I could to maximize social time, keeping my grades up, trying new activities, and trying to catch up on some rest in between. If I was not organized, my grades would start slipping, I would miss out on social opportunities, and that would leave me stressed out. Another life lesson I learned was self-reliance. I realized self-reliance because nobody was going to get good grades for me. I had to put in the work. No one was going to offer me jobs that I would enjoy out of the blue. I had to develop relationships within that workplace and apply myself towards it. The pretty girl at the bonfire was not going to automatically be my friend. I had to be able to keep her interest and benefit her life positively. I also didn't want my parents' financial help after my freshman year. I wanted to live life on my own terms. Disclaimer, my parents are wonderful people and did everything out of love and wanting the best for me. I was just arrogant and ignorant and wanted to do things my way. So other than being a social outlet and learning life lessons, college also provided me opportunities that I would not have had if I was not a student. The part-time jobs that I worked in college were only available for students, and I worked towards these jobs because they not only seemed very enjoyable, but also very beneficial. As an adrenaline junkie, I was addicted to caffeine and I applied for a job with Monster Energy. I held that job all throughout college, fed my caffeine addiction for free, and also got paid $200 a month to host parties. During my years in college, I also attended outdoor adventure trips where we would go snowboarding, hang gliding, skydiving, kiteboarding, canoeing through alligator-infested swamps, and a bunch of other super fun outdoor activities. The program offered these trips at a highly discounted rate to students that otherwise would not have been able for me to afford financially if I were not a student. I quickly learned that I could get paid for planning and leading these outdoor trips. It was minimum wage, but hey, if you're gonna pay me to go snowboarding, I am not gonna refuse. So I made some good relationships within this organization, applied myself as an outdoor adventure leader, and I held this job throughout the entirety of my college career. That job and the opportunity to attend the trips were only available to students. Another opportunity that were only available to the students were the exercise classes. I attended a few free exercise classes at the rec center like breakdancing, yoga, cycling, and a few others just to try some new activities. Another opportunity of being a student are the student discounts. These included rock climbing gym discounts, bowling discounts, and special student nights at Target and REI with discounted prices, and many more. In a college town, there's always discounts for students, so if you're a student, just look around for them and ask. I also wasn't much of a regular at the bars, although they did offer some good student discounts. I also thought it was a waste of money to spend $2 to $10 per drink at these bars as opposed to just hosting a party, having a bunch of people over, and drinking beers for 50 cents each. So as a finance guy, here's my conclusion of whether college was worth it or not for me. College was definitely worth it for a few reasons. One, I didn't take out any student loans. Secondly, apart from finances, I needed to fulfill a couple of my other basic needs. I was looking for long-term friends, a long-term partner, fun jobs, and discounts. It was also beneficial to me because of the life lessons that I learned, the unexpected memories created, and an enjoyable transition from being an irresponsible kid to a self-sustaining adult. Some people already know what they want to do in life before they go to college. I didn't. I just wanted to be around same-age people, make friends, and have a good time. For those who know what they want to do with their lives, some professions require a bachelor's, master's, or sometimes even a doctorate to get into those professions. In that way, college is a great opportunity to meet people who are already in these professions like lawyers and doctors, and have some guidance from people who have already been through the process to help you along the way. If your dream profession requires many years of college education, work towards good grades, apply yourself for scholarships, grants, and internship opportunities to stay out of debt and get some experience in the field that you want to work in. For those who don't know what they want to do but want to continue learning, use the internet to your advantage. We can learn everything taught in school from YouTube, Google, Wikipedia, and millions of other sites. I didn't know what I wanted to do, and so I kind of used college as a time to think through and learn different career paths so that I could figure that out. The key to learning on the internet is fact-checking and gaining information from multiple sources to find truth, because a lot of what's on the internet is just someone's opinion. Just like this video. I'm not a professor or a lawyer or a licensed financial advisor. These are just my opinions. Anything that you hear from me or from anyone on YouTube should definitely be fact-checked. Opinions are good, but we need to find reliable, relevant, factual information for the internet to educate us properly. Do yourself and everyone else a favor by not accepting what you see on social media as truth. It's entertainment, not education. It can shed some light on a particular subject, but do some research on that subject. Don't just accept it as truth. Also, don't watch documentaries and accept everything you see in them as truth, because they're one-sided. Again, they shed light on often unknown subjects, which is often very enlightening, but a lot of times they don't show the other perspectives. Another thing we need to do if we're going to be learning from the internet is make sure that we're self-disciplined. There are going to be days and times where we just simply do not want to learn anything. But we need to be disciplined in learning new subjects from reliable, relevant sources. We should also read lots of books. Many books are written by older, wiser, more experienced people than us, and we should take their advice or at least lend an ear to what they're trying to say. If you do decide to attend college, get good grades. It will help you get scholarships. Look for job opportunities that you'll enjoy and try activities that you've never done. If you don't attend college, be self-disciplined in learning from the internet. Read and listen to different books and podcasts to figure out ways of making money that will fulfill you, and also learn what's required to get to the point that you want to be at. Whichever path you choose, outline a 5-year plan for yourself with smaller, achievable goals to help you get to that point. This plan may change, but at least you'll have something to guide you while you're still figuring it out. Mahalo for watching, and aloha from the big island of Hawaii. If you're interested in learning how to make passive income by investing into the stock market, first you're going to need an investment account, and there's 2 investment accounts that allow you and me to get a free stock just for signing up and funding your account $100. The free stocks that you and I get will be worth between $1,200 and $1,400. These investment apps are Robinhood and Webull. In my opinion, Robinhood is a little bit more user-friendly, but Webull offers more opportunity for getting free stocks. If you're interested in up-to-date information on which stocks I buy and sell, check out my Patreon. I'm Joey, I'll talk to you soon.